Welcome back. We ended the last video with this metal prototype that I had built and that I was able to shoot and test. And the next step will be to do some design refinement based on that testing. And then also go into the development of the 3 different sizes I want to produce. The 21 inch, the 19 inch, and the 17 inch. Let's get started on that. So I created this control sketch that will actually control my model. So this was the 21 inch, this is the 19 inch, as you can see, and then this is the 17 inch. And that's how we're going to control the sizes. So let's do some size modeling. So I want to show the sizing on the 17 inch. So till here, the model is exactly the same as the 19 inch. Because I want to remodel, don't want to remodel all these components. I just want to have the handle, the ILF system, and then I want to use that as for sizing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this face down, and then I'm going to move this component down, and then I'm going to rebuild everything back up, from this new position where this ILF system is. And then we do the same thing on the bottom. We mirror this, I'll probably end up deleting that block. But we kind of, this is kind of where we were before, and this is where the new system will be. And that's kind of how we do the sizing. And that'll be the same. The only other difference, if I roll all the way forward, is that there's less holes here, because this is shorter handle. So that's the only other difference, but everything else will just rebuild and is the same. So that's the 17 inch. So now quickly show the sizing of the 21 inch. So again, this is the exact same model as the 19 inch, except that we're going to move this the other way. So to do the 21 inch, basically make the handle bigger, and then we rebuild everything from there, and then we also mirror that down and do that. And then the only difference here is that there'll be more holes, as you can see, and that's that. So this is showing all the different sizes. This is the 21 inch, the 19 inch, 17 inch, again, 19 inch, 21 inch, and then these are all 3 of them together. And you can kind of see I kept the ILF system all in the same planes, and you can kind of see how it affects the back angle, because it all needed to end up at the same center portion grip. I just thought that was interesting. We finished the sizing CAD work, and these are the 3 sizes that I want to produce. We got the 17 inch, the 19 inch, and the 21 inch. And I 3D printed these to get a feel for it. And it's important to note that, obviously the ILF components are going to be the same in all 3, but also the handle, the grip is going to be the same. So the next step would be to make metal prototypes of all 3 and see if my assumptions are correct. But I'm going to pace myself because each prototype will cost me about $1,100. So we're going to start with the 17 inch one and then work our way down the rest. So let's see what that looks like. So I got the prototype of the 17 inch riser, and I had them actually anodize it black because I wanted to kind of see how strong that is in comparison to just aluminum. And you can kind of see the difference, this back is all smooth and clean, and there's actually a slight difference in angle. You can't barely see it, but this is flat, and then this is a little crease line right there. I also design these ILF components, like these are actually my prototypes, and to test out, change the curve right there. And also I still don't have my grip, so I'm still using my 3D printed grip to test these. So let's put some limbs in here and string it and do some testing and shooting. All right, we're gonna test this very brand new riser I built. This is the second prototype. So we fixed a few things and I'm very excited about it. And yeah, and this bow pulls about 50 pounds, which is my draw weight, so it's very nice. You know, and being a designer, you know, always think of different ways to make things interesting. So one of the ideas I had was it would be interesting to combine wood and aluminum and then have these patterns appear as you machine it. You know, now it's tricky to do wood and aluminum, but I could 3D print it and kind of get a feel for what that looks like. And I just thought it was interesting enough to show. And this is kind of to show the power of CAD. I actually modeled all the accessories that you can mount onto this riser, and you also check and all the clearances and the bolt holes. And I also 3D scanned the limbs in different positions, like unstrung, strung, and then pulled back. And I just think it's a great way to double check everything you're doing. So we finally got our final 19-inch handle that's pre-production, and it looks extremely nice. And I want to put some limbs on there and test it out. So let's do that. So let's do some shooting in the office. Woo woo. All right, here it is. All right, here goes nothing. Stay. Feels great. Gotta tune it a little bit. So this is the 17-inch, 19-inch, 21-inch, and then this is the very first prototype. And that's actually a longbow. So that's one thing I liked about the ILF system is that you could do recurve, you could do a longbow. It's all up to you. You could switch it. You can have more than one handle, and you can have different style bows and tweak them to your heart's content. So we've concluded the design phase, and I'm really happy where we ended up. So the next step would be to do some testing, a lot of shooting, test different limbs, build jigs to test it, test the draw weights at different distances. I wanted to buy the most powerful limbs, put it in here, see how it holds up. So please check back for these videos, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this one. And thank you, and see you soon.